It feels so good to be back on a Tuesday live. What's happening, everybody? TK here for TK Night, TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live. As we've been switching over to now, it's going to be TK and Drinks. What's the Story Tuesdays? Probably going to be moving these interview days to a different week or a different day of the week here coming up after the end of the year. Feel like I'm kind of stepping on toes over there at the Got Me. They've never said anything. It's probably just me being particular about stuff, but definitely want to definitely probably considering changing the days running with the TK and Drinks live program. So if you saw the title, some people don't look at those things tonight. We have a special What's the Story interview with Josh Eckton. I believe that's how they pronounce his name, Eckton, from White Bear Meadery there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have not talked to Josh before. He's been a follower of mine anyway, as far as I know, for a long time, which I'm very thankful for. Any of the professional mead makers that want to show me any attention and give me some love, I'll definitely take all that shine. So he should be joining us here anytime. I did get it started a little bit early, and hopefully I got this time zone thing all squared away, because I'm in Mountain Time and he's in Central Time, so he should be clocking on here at 7 o'clock or right around there. So that's right about now. So we'll see what happens. We made it work last time. Hopefully we don't have any more technical difficulties. But till we get him on the line here, it is TK and Drinks on a Tuesday, so you know what that means. We got to get into some beers and some bullshit to start it off. And this week is I don't know how to put it. No small exception to kick-ass beers. Anybody who's had anything from Baba Brewhouse, maybe our buddy Carlos down there at Texas Longhouse, maybe he's been over there to Baba Brewhouse. But these cats make some phenomenal beer. You know, I'm a sucker for a good gimmick. I didn't really think that the fruited sours and the smoothie ales and the milkshake IPAs and all these things were going to last. But you know, I'm fully on the bandwagon now. These things are, you know, when done right, I think are really kick-ass and really unique. When not, you know, definitely not so much. But this one by the Baba Brewhouse cats is called Mrs. Juice, and this is a banana, pineapple, coconut, lime, and blue raspberry. From what I understand, it's basically going to come out the color of that green on that can. I don't know if you all can see that or not, but it's going to be interesting to see how it pours. So here we go. Let's get that rocking and rolling. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, look at, holy crap. Check this out. Here we go. That straight looks like Ninja Turtles, Toxic Slime, Secret of the Ooze. Oh, it's all thick. I didn't stir it and shake it enough. Here we go. Oh, there we go. See if I can't get Josh to join. There we go. What's going on, hippie chick? And hey, there we go. What's going on, Josh? How you doing, my man?
Hi, good. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Just talking to everybody about what I'm drinking on tonight. Got a
Yeah, you got some.
one of them fruited sours from Baba Brewhouse down in Texas. Check this thing out.
That is colorful. Oh,
Yeah, blue coconut, lime, pineapple, banana. I've only ever seen them this color. I've never actually had one this color, so I'm pretty jazzed to try it. You drinking on anything tonight over there?
I got some water right now. Yeah. How's that taste?
Actually pretty spot on. Coconut,
Yeah.
banana up front, pineapple, lime on the back, and that kind of like generic blue raspberry-ish type of acidity taste that just kind of floats around. Not bad for a smoothie one. I really dig these guys down at Baba Brewhouse.
Awesome.
They make a really tasty, fun beer. So, oh, there we go. So, anybody who doesn't know who you are, like, go ahead and give yourself a little introduction. I did put it in the title there, but at least let you introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Josh Eckton. I'm owner of White Bear Meadery in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. we've been in operation for a little over 2 years now, and yeah, we're in the midst of trying to expand to a new location.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about. Actually, I've been trying to get on board with you, trying to link this up for a little while now. I feel kind of like a
Oh yeah, things have been pretty busy.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I've been following you guys online for a while there, and you guys were posting some videos, doing some demo. You got the keys and all that jazz. So what's the update on what's the situation?
Yeah, well, I stopped in today, and the guys were cutting the concrete to put in the plumbing and a pad for to put in some columns to get rid of a load bearing wall to open
Okay.
up the. So yeah, a lot of dust and a lot of messiness today when I went in, but it's progress, that's for sure.
Very cool, my man. You guys have a scheduled or tentative opening date, or just kind of playing it by ear right now?
Yeah, kind of playing it by ear. There's a lot of different pieces. You know, we got to get the plumbing plans approved from the state of Minnesota, and we have to get you know, some things are we have to special order. So we're hoping to get in, you know, in January. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot sooner than I was thinking you were going to say. That's very cool.
Yeah. We'd love to be in sooner, but yeah, January looks like the date. Yeah, or sometime in January.
Okay. And are you guys still operating out of your current spot, or did you guys have to move out of there?
Yeah, we're still in operation at our original location, and they're only a mile apart, so they're real close together. They're not too far apart from each other, so yeah, they're just down the road from each other. So
Yeah, that's very nice. I've seen some other cats going through some similar type of situations, but through a forced means. You know, they had, unfortunately, some leases run up and buildings being sold and stuff like that. I feel absolutely terrible for those cats. It's like, you know, they did absolutely nothing but do everything right in the mead world, run a successful business, and have the rug pulled out from underneath of them like that.
yeah, I mean, we do have a lease that's expiring in December, so we
Oh.
there may be a gap between our current location and the new location as far as us being closed, but we're trying our best to get the new location opened up. Yeah.
Oh, so you already got the paperwork started and all that stuff with the, like you said, with the city and with the TTB and all that stuff. So you should be good to go, like you said,
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah, we did a lot of that hard work when we opened up our first location, but yeah, we got to do some, you know, we got to update the information and you know, get things settled up with the different agencies. Yeah.
And that meat hall looks like it's going to be a lot bigger than the one you guys are currently in.
Oh yeah. We're talking. We're going from a 20-seat capacity, which we have right now at our current location, to almost 160 seats. So we're going big on this one, and
Yeah.
we're excited about that possibility, because that's what we're kind of short on right now is seating and fermentation rooms capacity. So it's going to give us a lot more of both.
Very cool. And man, with January just right around the way, you got anything big, like grand opening plans or any?
I mean, we definitely want to have a big celebration and let everybody know, you know, about it, and invite, you know, everybody that wants to come, you know, and you know, have a grand celebration and show off the new place, you know, because we're gonna make a, you know, a Minnesota mead hall, you know, so
Definitely.
yeah.
Heck yeah. And then I saw you guys obviously over the summer had your was it a Kickstarter or GoFundMe that had gone through and everything, and saw those cool
we
saw
had
those cool mugs.
yeah, we had the Kickstarter going, and that was a success, and yeah, that was great, having you know, everybody help out in different ways, you know.
So what's the biggest hurdle you've had so far with opening the new spot? You know, you're upscaling quite a bit. You're going to have a much bigger capacity. What's your, you know, what hurdle that you're jumping over that you didn't really expect?
Well, the biggest hurdle that we had was getting the lenders all set up. We started the process of buying this location in December of last year, and it took 10 months to close on it. So that was the big part, was the lenders. A lot of institutions were gun shy because of COVID, and they basically characterized us as a, in the service industry, and they said the service industry got hit hard, and as we well know, with COVID last year, and so they didn't want to touch, lend to us basically. So we had to go through 5 different banks, and it was quite a process. Yeah.
Dang, that's scandalous. But hey, it's all working out for the better now, and you got to have this new awesome place. And
that's the exciting part, is that we persevered, and we found some lenders to help us out, and we bought the location last month, and then now we're working hard to get it ready for everybody. Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have any like meads that you plan on, like big release meads or anything that are already cooking up and getting ready to be bottled or anything?
We have a bunch of re-releases that will be coming back out in right around grand opening time.
Okay.
A triple berry called Trey Bear. It's a blueberry, raspberry, and strawberry mead that we get from local sources here in Minnesota, and that's been real popular and
nice.
Pretty tasty. And then we have a pie mint. We call it Loki's Veen, and that'll be coming back out in January as well. And that's made with local St. Croix variety of red grapes.
And you guys focus on using all local ingredients and honey?
We try. I mean, all of our honey is Minnesotan, and we try to get as many ingredients as possible locally. When we're using spices, it's hard to get local cinnamon, but you know what I mean. It's we try.
Not much local citrus up there in Minnesota.
Yeah, we don't have too many limes growing on trees around here, but
right.
But we got lots of apples. We have plenty of berries and a lot of great ingredients. We have a strawberry rhubarb that's seasonal right now, and that's pretty tasty as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through your online thing, and it says buy online, and I got all excited, and then I went to go buy, and I was like, oh, there's no ship out of state option. That was like a mead tease, my man. That was it broke my heart for a second there.
We're working on that. We're looking to get into Vino Shipper soon and get that going. But right now it's local in state, just because of our production is at this time. It's just yeah.
Do you guys do local distribution, like self-distribution?
We're in a handful of liquor stores right now. I think we're at 7 or 8 liquor stores, and are pretty close proximity to the cities.
Gotcha.
Where we're at. Yeah.
And you said you guys have been open for how long now? 2 or 3 years?
We're coming up on 2.5 years. Yeah. Yeah.
2.5 years. Already upgrading your facility. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It's a little crazy at the same time, but we know that we're running out of space, and it's gonna help us help us bring in more customers. Be able to sit down with us and enjoy a drink, or on the distribution side, be able to get out to more liquor stores, and then get onto Vino Shipper and do some state to state sales. Yeah,
definitely. So how long were you home brewing before you started going commercial?
On and off over the years. I started back in the 90s, and fumbled my way through over the years, and it was a fun hobby. You get to make something yourself and share it with people. So that's been a great experience.
Definitely. And then you must obviously like it enough to take it and do it commercially. What pushed you over the edge to go from amateur to pro?
Well, I had always wanted to open up, maybe a brewery or a winery over the years. And as we, tasted more and more beverages over the years, I found a real liking of mead. we got a taste of it for the first time, my wife and I, about 15 years ago at Meadery. That was up in Alaska, called Ring of Fire. Unfortunately, they went out of business, but they had wonderful mead, and we really got a taste for it, and we looked for it. Look for meads at liquor stores and places, and it was hard to find. So we just decided that, hey, let's open up our own meadery and share this great beverage with everybody.
Gotcha. Space Time Mead and Cider Works would like to know if you were a part of a local homebrew club in the 90s. I imagine Dan was doing a little homebrewing back then himself.
I wasn't in a club at the time. I was at school, though. I was going to school in food science and technology. So I guess I'm science club. So not really a homebrew club, but at the club there, and we would, we'd taste each other's beverages and stuff in the club and make, as part of the college club. Yeah.
Gotcha. And over the years, you've had, I'm sure, many different batches that you've made. Any of them stand out to you as like your pinnacle batch from homebrew that you really just was the Magnum Opus, if you will?
Just things have just been coming together more recently in the years. You learn, you live and learn over the years, and you have your ups and downs and with your batches, and just been, you take all that knowledge and you come together, and we're making real fun ones right now with we have a holiday mead that's coming out again this year, and it's called Yule, and it's cranberry orange and with holiday spices, and it's just a fun, well-balanced beverage that just a lot of people just say, Christmas in a glass, and it has a real big statement when you taste it, and that's something I'm pretty proud of, that you can make that happen just by making a mead.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always intrigued to know what everybody's favorite mead that they make are, because it always, it's like a peek inside somebody's personality and soul. It's like they really enjoy these like deep, earthy and spicy ones, or if they're everything they like is light and airy or whatever. It's always just really unique to me. But yeah, a Christmas, an orange cranberry Christmas mead sounds very. Do you guys do those warm, or do you serve them warm at the tap room with like a little poker or something?
We've tried it before with we did a spiced apple that we warmed up in like a crock pot kind of deal, and we served that for a little while. It just didn't take off as well as we liked. So we recommend that people can warm up the meads, like the spiced apple or the cold that I mentioned, and it would be just, it's good that way as well.
Yeah. You're in a pretty saturated area for meaderies, in that Minnesota, Michigan, kind of Wisconsin area. Is there anybody in the area that like really inspires you, or anybody in the meat industry in general that inspires you to do what you do or to help better your game? Or you pretty much just like to keep to yourself and focus internally and drive your mead channel that way?
Well, I really enjoyed the big berry meads that Schramm's makes in that's been one of an influence in the industry. There's some other guys making some great meads out there, don't get me wrong, but you sometimes you just taste mead and you're like, wow, and it just kind of blows your mind, and you're like, well, this is great, this is what I aspire to make.
Right. That whole steel sharpens steel type of mentality. You can taste the competition, so to speak, just to help better the mead world, better the product of mead as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun just tasting other people's product and expanding your mead taste buds,
Definitely.
to see what's out there,
Yeah, you guys have some hardware from some competitions, don't you?
Nothing yet.
Oh, no?
We haven't reached out to too many competitions. Just a couple so far. Mainly, we just been focused on the tap room and expanding our customer base and taking care of our customers. Um, that's been focus.
Do you guys have a founders club or a bottle club or anything like that?
We have we no bottle club yet, but that'll be coming along at some point. And then we have like a mead membership or mead club that we do with for the tasting room, where you get you buy into a
Yeah,
member for a free glass, and then we give out like a
like a mug club.
horn mug. Yeah, like a mug. So we give out a horn mug that's
Yeah.
custom engraved and stuff, and then the free drinks once a month for a year and that kind of thing. Yeah, so we got that going for our tap room customers.
That's very cool. Yeah, I saw some pictures you guys posted of those horn mugs. They're the mug kind with where the horn bends back, makes a handle, not the actual just horns
Yeah,
themselves.
it's made out of real horn, and they're called like tankards. And
Yeah.
they have like a wood base and stuff, and yeah, they're really cool, and they're a lot easier to put down on the table than the regular horns and stuff. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, those regular horns, some of them look really cool and they get, I know they can make some pretty big ones and everything, but I've yet to see a practical way to actually set one down and drink out of it. And
Yeah,
it just seems
challenge.
super gimmicky.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, you got to drink it all down before you put it on the table. So, that presents its own set of challenges, unless you're
Right.
around in a communal setting. Yeah.
Man.
But,
Um, oh, go ahead.
oh no, no.
Yeah. So you're focusing on opening the new spot. You're focusing on, running everything you got going. Sorry, I got flying here all of a sudden. Focusing on your upcoming projects and everything like that. What's the biggest thing you're looking forward to in 2022 as far as, White Bear is concerned?
Uh, just the ability to host a lot more people. With the new space, we're going to have communal seating. Just like a beer hall style seating with long benches, and just getting people together, and then sharing the mead and sharing a good time together. That's what we're looking forward to. Seeing
Yeah.
all these happy customers coming in and appreciating mead in general. It's great. That's a big part of it.
Yeah. See, Dan says the Big Lost in Wyoming has holes drilled in their tables and in their bar so they can put the horns in there. Now that's a pretty clever idea.
Great
That's
idea.
some quick thinking. Sam's a pretty clever dude. I like the way he thinks up there.
Goal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great way.
Um, yeah, definitely. So you got all that going on. You're going to be having this bigger space, and I did notice that you guys. I couldn't tell if you like rent out your current space for events, or if you guys just like host events out of the generosity of your own heart or everything. But I'm assuming that's going to continue, and then like you were saying, probably even expand further.
Yeah, I mean, right now people can, rent the space during off hours. We're open a set amount of hours in the week, and then if people want to come in, on our off hours, then we can rent out space for them. The new facility will have two different party rooms, so that's going to be a great opportunity for people to rent out some space for birthdays or parties or get together. So it's wonderful, whether it's D&D or you know anything.
Yeah. Um, Did you? I didn't quite see from any of the footage or anything. Is there a big outside area? You guys gonna have like a patio space or anything out back of? In the front, seemed like it was kind of close to the sidewalk.
Yeah, we it's a big space outside. The property is 1.6 acres, so
Oh,
there's some opportunities. I mean, it's a big parking lot and a big building space, but there's some
nice.
opportunities to put in some outside seating. And we're talking about that setting up for next year after the winter's all said and done. Yeah.
Definitely. Um, so you said the first time you ever tried mead was at the Ring of Fire there in Alaska. Do you remember what the first mead was that you had there? Or
I think it was just a basic traditional, and it was a sweet trad, and it was just straight up delicious. It was clean. It was a nice sweetness, and you could tell that it was honey. It wasn't table sugar or corn syrup. It was just straight up honey, and it had all those nice subtle floral notes in it, and it was delicious.
so what's your favorite style to make then? If you've been doing it for all these years now.
Oh, I like doing the berry meads. That's for sure. We get a lot of berries locally, and one especially is the honeyberry that we've been making for a few years now, and it's a great berry. Not a lot of people know about it. It's not in your grocery stores. But basically it's like an oblong looking blueberry that tastes like a berry and a tart cherry combination. So it's my favorite mead that we make, and it's really special. It's a nice balance of tart and sweet, and it's really refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those honeyberries, they look like almost like those moondrop grapes if you've ever seen those.
Yeah. They kind of have that kind of oblongness.
Elongated
Yeah,
berry shape.
yeah. They're all they're much longer.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, those are I haven't had those before, but I've had a couple different Haskell or honeyberry meads and stuff, and
Yeah. There's some out there. It's not too common.
no, definitely, and that's why whenever I see them and I'm able to, I try to grab them, especially anything that's like uncommon or you
Yeah,
don't see too much that somebody's doing. I try to grab that one because you can tell that's something that they're going to be passionate about. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You don't something you don't see everywhere. Always going to grab that one. Like I said, if I was able to grab your honeyberry, I'd scoop that up in a heartbeat because
yeah.
that you're like in the thick of where that stuff grows and everything. At least here in the
Yeah,
States.
it's a great cold weather berry too. So, yeah, I mean, it was something that I had never tasted before, and I'm like, I found out about it through our Minnesota Department of Agriculture. I think it was like a Facebook posting or something, and they were focused on this farm, growing honeyberries, and I'm like, wow, I haven't heard that at all. And I used to be an old produce guy. So I sold all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Veggies, and I was like, what's this honeyberry? And we're like, okay, we're gonna make a meat out of it. So that's what we did. Yeah.
Have you had any batches since you've gone commercial that never made it to the shelves, or even saw bottles that either got repurposed into something else, or unfortunately had to get flushed?
Well, recently we had a mistake in the production room where we were going to put some lime in there, and we put it in the wrong batch. So we had a chamomile mead going, and we put the lime in with the chamomile, and it just it didn't make a good combination. So yeah.
Lime chamomile.
Yeah, lime and chamomile. Not sure what we're going to do with it. It's still in a tank. And yeah, maybe that's one of those. Well, that's a recent mistake. Yeah, that's for sure.
Man, lime. I wouldn't even know what to do with that. Chamomile again is another one. Botanicals in the meads. I'm really interested.
Yeah, it's very earthy, and yeah, that lime just overpowers it, and it's not
Not the thing.
no.
That's unfortunate. So other than like that type of accidental something, do you have any that you make that are like a, say, what's the a crowd favorite, a fan favorite that's not necessarily one of your favorites, but the fans demand it and you like, just give them what they want, so to speak?
Well, I guess we have a hot pepper mead that we started out with a light. We when we first made a hot pepper mead, we made it with like a chipotle pepper, and it was a mild heat. And then the hot pepper people, they came in, they're like, oh, this isn't hot enough. I want hotter. And I'm like, okay. So we did habanero. So we stepped it up a little bit, not quite as much like the Reaper peppers and all that kind of stuff, but
Right.
and then we paired it with garlic, and people, it's real savory. It's very different from the meats that we make, and I'm into more of the sweeter berry meads, and this one's very different, and it has a following, albeit smaller, but people really enjoy it just because of that difference.
Nice. So what would you say has been your most difficult ingredient to work with, either cleanup wise or just processing wise or anything like that?
We when we were making our berry meads and our grape meads, when you're doing fruit additions at the very beginning in primary, and you're leaving that berry product in there, and you go into secondary and it's still in there, and that can be a real mess if you the longer you keep it into secondary. Oh my gosh. So get a big layer on the bottom, and that one's real difficult to clean up. So we've kind of gone away from keeping it in there too long into secondary, just because it's a bear, dealing with all that fruit breaking down and stuff. Yeah.
Right. It's different than if you're dealing with 4 or 5 pounds, when you're dealing with, hundreds of pounds potentially.
Yeah. It's quite a bit of fruit material. You're getting all that flavor out of there and all that wonderful color, and then the rest, it doesn't really contribute. So
Right.
yeah, it becomes a mess. Yeah.
So it looks like we've got some suggestions here for your chamomile lime.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
The cats over at Retro Meadery down in North Carolina are saying maybe throw some ginger in it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Carlos down at Texas Longhouse Mead is saying maybe try some hibiscus.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. We've done a hibiscus and rose petal mead, and that was well received. Yeah.
And then Dan, I said, it sounds like maybe a good cooking mead.
Yeah, I mean, we're open to suggestions. That's for sure. We're kind of sitting and waiting on that one.
And then we've got another question here from A King 7445 says, can you discuss stabilization of meads when adding juices or fruit in secondary?
Okay, so fruits in secondary, yeah, you want to be careful because you can add natural yeast, especially when you're using fresh ingredients. So that's real important to stabilize in that regards, because you don't want to have a re-fermentation with the increased, because you're adding more sugar or more food for the yeast, and then you're adding possibly a wild yeast, and that could give you some flavors that you weren't really wanting, versus the commercial yeast where you're getting consistent results, and it's a lot easier to work with. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's always good to know. I haven't had a chance to work with any juices or anything in secondary. I'm trying to stick with all traditionals right now, but that's one thing I always hear about secondary is got to do everything you can to keep from re-fermentations, getting bottle bombs going on and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that's a challenge in secondary, because sometimes the sweetness level isn't where you want to, so you want to back sweeten, and before you back sweeten, you definitely want to stabilize, because you may reawaken some of that yeast with that extra sugar source, and then it's going to re-ferment up, and you're going to get, it's going to dry out.
yeah.
So yeah, the stabilization, especially with back sweetening or back flavoring, or secondary addition of fruits, it's real important, just so you can maintain those, the sweetness and fruit levels that you'd want to. Yeah.
Which stabilization methods, which stabilizers do you use or do you recommend using?
We use potassium metabisulfite and potassium sorbate in combination, and it works well for us. Ideally, we'd love to, not use those ingredients, but at this time, with our capabilities, that's just our best way of stabilizing. But yeah, it's just if you want to do that back sweetening or back flavoring, it's just it's real important, just so you don't have that re-fermentation.
I think there's a big misconception that goes around a lot that the potassium metabisulfite and whatnot, they're additional additives, and that they're going to bring out people's like allergic reactions and to sulfites and whatnot. And a lot of people don't realize that you're like if you eat like processed cheese or processed meats, there's more sulfites in a lot of that than there is in any of the mead that you're drinking.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly some misconceptions, and people have some strong opinions about.
Very.
And it's natural in a lot of foods too. So I mean, it's all about balance,
Pardon me, I'm grabbing my last beverage for the evening.
Oh, sure. What do you got going on next?
So this is from a company in San Diego called Pure Project. This is their petrified
Oh, nice.
double murky IPA.
Petrified, yeah. I love Rockhound, so that's up my alley. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna break a beer snob rule and totally pour into my old green glass because I don't care that much. But yeah, I've had it.
Stay on camera.
And I'll do it right on camera. I don't care. Let them talk shit.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah, I've had a couple of different beers from these guys, and they do some wild stuff. If you ever get an opportunity to check anything out from these cats,
oh sure,
definitely pick them up. So you got your stabilization methods down. You got do you guys do any session meads or draft meads or anything like that, or is everything you guys do distilled bottle?
We have one session mead and one lower ABV mead that's just above session level. And yeah, I mean, we definitely wanted to branch out to some lower ABV meads in the session category. And we have what we do, can those up and we carbonate them and can them up. So we have them in cans right now, in like a tall boy 500 ml can. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get into, well, I say canning beers and stuff like that, but I see the machines that they have, those like hand, the little one-off candy machines.
Yeah, like,
and I guess it's
just, and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just my like mechanical nerd in me. It's like I just want to go play with one. I guess I should say I want a canned beer. It's like I just want to like fill up taps and just can beers just for. I'm sure if I was doing it for a business, it might get a little redundant.
Yeah.
At times.
Got one of those small, canners that just does one can at a time and seams it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works well for us. I mean, we're smaller operations, so we do one can at a time kind of deal. But yeah, I think nice having that option for people, so they have something that's a little bit lighter on the alcohol side, and you know.
Now, how much bigger is your guys' production space in the new facility versus what you guys have now?
So right now, I'm not sure how many square feet we have right now, maybe 200, 300 square feet for our production.
Oh,
But
that's pretty.
uh,
Yeah.
the new space, I'm sure it's right around two to 3,000 square feet. So it's a vast increase. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're
Yeah.
That's something we're really excited about, because right now it's such a small fermentation space that you're moving three things to get to one thing, and it's just crazy. I mean, right now we have 16 meads available, and we have a really full fermentation room, with all the different varieties of meads going. So the new space will allow us to have the ability to make double batches, and do a lot more barrel aging and such. So just the
Yeah, start
we'll have
barrel aging program.
we've done a couple barrel age so far. Yeah, not
Very.
not too much. Mostly we've been doing those for our anniversary meads, for our first year anniversary celebration and our second year anniversary celebration. So yeah,
You're gonna move the anniversary date?
uh,
Are you gonna start over with not necessarily year one, but you're gonna wait all the way around to January 23 for your, say, third anniversary, or are you just gonna keep it at the original mark?
yeah, I mean, we're just keep it from our original opening, because that's it's in July, the middle of summer. So it's a nice nice way, because you're getting people out and about, and we'll just keep it at that. But yeah, we've been doing that the last couple of years, as far as coming out with something special to celebrate. Yeah.
See, we got another comment here. A King said, I went to a food expo and they got a bunch of water-soluble hop oils now.
Oh.
Apparently, they have the technology in various breeds that make super unique flavors from fruit to bubble gum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something like you use in like a soda stream, or if it's like a much more more concentrated than that or something. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, that sounds fun to play with. We have right now we have one hop mead. We use hops in a buckwheat honey mead. We call it Pole, and so that's we paired hops and the buckwheat honey together. And yeah, I mean, just playing with a water soluble hop, that would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds super unique. I'm always interested to see where, where the meat industry, where people think the meat industry is going, not necessarily on a home scale versus commercial level, but just like in general, where do you see the industry going in 5 years? Do you see it tracking along this same path where it's going to be just, more commercial meaderies opening and at a increasing rate? Do you see it dropping off? Do you see people going and being more flamboyant with their stuff, kind of like the craft beer world's doing right now with the seltzers and the?
Well, the fun part is that the sky's the limits as far as the ingredients and combinations. So I think there's a lot of potential for different flavors to come out. I mean, I've been seeing some mushroom meads out there. I've been you're seeing some stuff and you're like, wow, that's really cool. I recently tasted a Mounds Bar mead, and it was just spot on. They had the coconut and chocolate, spot on. It's just like, hey, you're tasting a Mounds Bar.
Yeah.
The industry's just, I mean, we're just starting. Right now there's one official meadery in name in Minnesota right now, and that's us. There's, don't get me wrong, there's other places that make mead, but they don't call themselves meaderies. And there's right around 200 breweries in Minnesota. So I think, there's great potential for growth, not only in Minnesota, but all around the United States,
Yeah. Have you guys done any braggot collabs or anything like that with anybody?
Nothing yet, but that would certainly be a big opportunity. something that we could get going with the new location and the increased capacity. There's plenty of great beer, breweries here in Minnesota that we'd love to work with.
Sure. We got another question here. It says, would love to know your process when making a new formula. I'm guessing that means like, what's your process? Do you write down a formula? Do you come up with like the ideas in and of yourself and then kind of write it down, or do you just go straight to the tasting board?
Basically, it starts with the honey. I'm gonna taste our honey, and I'm gonna just think about it. I'm gonna say, well, what's gonna go with this honey? What's gonna complement it? What's not? Sometimes you just come up with those ideas where, hey, let's pair, like we did with the buckwheat honey. As people know, it's very bold flavored, very earthy, kind of malty, molassesy, and we're like, let's pair it with root beer. And that comes up, and you're like, okay, well, let's go with root beer and buckwheat. And that's what we did. We make a root beer mead with buckwheat honey. And it's a nice marriage of those two bold flavored, kind of earthy ingredients. And people really enjoy it, So basic, it comes down to that basic ingredient, the honey. And then you just kind of grow from that after thinking about it for a while.
Okay, and that's pretty much been your process the whole time. Just build off the natural honey profile and try not to just say go with the flow. Try not to step on your own toes.
Well, I mean, for the most part, it comes down to that honey as the basic building block. And other times, like, oh, I'd really like to make, like the honeyberry one. I'd really like to use that ingredient. And then you go backwards and you go, well, what honey's going to pair with that? And then you build it up from there. So, sometimes it's honey based, sometimes it's ingredient based, but you're starting with one thing, and then you're trying to, grow the idea and, see how to make it into something that people would like or you'd like to drink.
Now, do you start those down on like, because you're obviously doing these, I don't know how many barrels your biggest fermenter is, but
right now,
do you start?
Pretty small. Our typical batch is 80 gallons. Our bigger batches is right around 110.
When you're starting, but when you're starting these new ones, are you doing them up in those same size batches, or do you start it like in a carboy, just like when you were home brewing it, and try to upscale it from there?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we'll do it like in a 1 gallon. I don't think we've done too many in like a carboy size, but you just kind of get that idea going, and or you get one of your trads, and then you do some blending with your trads, and see basically the ratios of fruit or spices that would mix well with that trad, and then you grow the recipe that way as well. Yeah.
Gotcha. And do you guys have a go-to yeast, like a house yeast that you guys use, or do you kind of all over the board depending on the product that you're trying to push out?
Yeah, I mean, we're using maybe a handful of yeasts, 5 or 6 different yeasts based on the ingredients. Just like you said, if we're going to do a trad, we're using DV10. A lot of the fruit ones, we're using 71B. Again, it comes down to basically the ingredients that we're using and what we want to accomplish. So we'll use a few, a handful of yeast, depending on the ingredient. Yeah.
Gotcha. It always, I always find, again, another thing I find interesting is people's takes on that, because there's some people that are very regimented across the board. I'm use this, it's everything, and this is what it is. And then some people are much more, happy-go-lucky with it. I'm going to pick this one because I like these esters, and I like this one because I like to ferment at this temperature, and all those different things. It's very, again, another peek into people's personalities. It's
there's a lot of things that you can, talk about or think about, or and it just depends. That's the cool part about making it personal for you. Your own stuff.
Yeah. And do you guys source your honey there locally? Do you, I'm assuming you have to you probably bring in some for particular, projects or whatever from outside the area, but I'm assuming you source most of it locally.
All of our honey is from Minnesota. We use 100% Minnesotan honey, and we go through a few different beekeepers depending on the variety of honey. I mean, it just depends on. I mean, depends on what we're making, but yeah, we enjoy, working with the local beekeepers. I mean, they're just small, family operations, just like we are, and we love meeting them and talking with them and being able to support them, as partners with this process.
So when you support White Bear Meadery, you're supporting multiple small businesses, not just one. You're bringing up the whole community.
Yeah, well, that's what we love about sourcing locally, is that we're getting our honey from these small family operations. We're getting our fruits from these small family operations, and we meet these people one-on-one, and we're talking to them, and seeing how their crops are doing, or their bees are doing this year, and it's great. You build those relationships with them, and they're the ones giving you those quality ingredients to make a great mead. So really.
Have you come across any unique honeys from them because of them shipping their bees elsewhere? So like my buddy Dan over at Space Time in Pennsylvania, he made a traditional. Again, he's in Pennsylvania, and his beekeeper there locally provided him with some palmetto honey from like Georgia or Florida or something like that, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the beekeepers we go through, they'll winter their bees down in Texas, but mostly it's just for wintering purposes. They're not pollinating. So, I mean, they do send some of their bees to California for the almonds, but that's not, that's a different honey altogether. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's one thing that I agree with A. King with a question. Where is your water sourced from? I think it's something that isn't necessarily talked about a lot, or just kind of gets glanced over or glazed over, is like water and pH level your water. And
Yeah. We currently use well water at our place, and we run it through a charcoal filter, just to be just to clean it up a little bit, and because it has a little bit of iron in it, and we don't want to have that influence it too much. But yeah, water's that's another ingredient that can have a big effect on your mead. We keep it pretty simple with just the charcoal filtration. Yeah.
Do you guys check your pH of your water before you use it? I mean, it's coming in out of a well. I'm assuming it. Well, I guess my assumption would be that it would be fairly consistent, but I don't know if that's the case. So, do you bother to check it?
We've checked it on occasion just to see where it's at.
Does it come out fairly consistent?
Yeah, it comes out pretty good. So that's great too. Dealing with that consistent pH level. And we're happy with the results of our meads, so that's great too.
Yeah, I have a slight mechanical background, and I'll take as many constants as I can get in a process. Give me all my constants. I don't want any variables if at all possible. Let's make it as streamlined and just really, make it work easily. Yes, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. No, that's great. To be able to control those variables, and and sometimes you bring in that art form, and there's going to be some inconsistencies, especially honey from year to year, and you're like, okay, we're just going to roll with it. This is the flavor this year, and let's see how we can try to make something similar from last year's batch, or to last year's batch.
For sure. So you guys, like you were saying, you utilize as much of your local ingredients to source your own water. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you've wanted to work with that you haven't, because you haven't been able to source it economically, or just because it's not available? I mean, what are you wanting to use that you haven't really had a chance to?
I'd love to use orange blossom honey. I know, it's a great honey, wonderful flavor. I'd love to use a meadow foam honey. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite honeys. It's so unexpected, the flavors, and it's like it's like having a dessert. Just the honey alone, and so it comes down to some varieties of honeys that we'd love to work with. Maybe down the road, but right now we're just been focusing on the local ingredients to get things going. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, that meadow foam honey is something else. I've had one meadow foam traditional and one meadow foam mellow mel, and I'll tell you what, in both accounts, that toasted coconut marshmallow flavor that comes through there is
Yeah, I mean,
otherworldly, man. It doesn't even taste like it's from this planet.
yeah, I mean, it's just so unexpected, and it's such a wonderful, flavor, and that's just one of my personal favorites. Yeah.
And growing up in Washington State, I'd never even seen it before. I'd never seen it on a shelf. I'd never seen that in apiary or anything.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of the the learning curve for people is learning about honey itself. Everybody's so used to going to the grocery store and getting that honey bear and stuff, and there's such a such a bigger universe of honeys out there.
Wait, you mean there's more than just Subi honey?
Yeah, yeah. But that's the cool part is we get to educate people about the different monofloral honeys out there, and
Yes.
and the real honeys, and the that are just straight up raw honeys instead of going through the the filtering and pasteurization processes, and it's a world of difference, and that's part about mead, is that you're working and working with these varieties of honeys.
Definitely. I don't know what my favorite is so far. Meadow foam's definitely got to be up there, but I love it. I love a good mesquite blossom honey, man. That is.
Yeah, I had a chance to get a mesquite trad from I think it was from Superstition, and it was barrel aged, and it was delicious. It had some real big, some nice flavors, and it was just something that you usually don't get.
Yeah, that's in those monofloral traditionals and the single variety traditionals. Those are, again, I always try to gravitate towards those as well as the unique stuff people do, because just to be able to experience all those unique, again, flavors and everything just from the honey and the yeast character is so much fun to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're just letting the honey be the star of the show, and it's great to see how it blossoms during fermentation. Yeah.
So, what is it? Thinking back on your years in operation and everything, would you say that sets you apart and makes Whiteberry unique in the mead world?
I guess the focus on local, small batches. It's we want the ingredients to speak for themselves, whether it's the honey or the fruits or spices. So that when you say it's root beer, that it tastes like root beer, or that it's buckwheat honey, that it has a buckwheat honey note. Those are real important to us as far as the end product. So I guess along those lines.
Being true to the flavors that you're talking about, you're not trying to make some fancy, highfalutin, crazy something with all these other flavors added in it. You just want to stick true to what you got. This is what we're working with. This is what it's going to taste like.
Yeah, I mean,
and the flavors speak for themselves.
Yeah, getting those flavors to come out, and that you can recognize them, just just right off the bat, instead of like having to kind of think about it and step back and, give it another sip and, kind of like break it down a little bit more. Sometimes that can happen, but we try to have it, the flavors speak for themselves.
You have a resounding Vikings blood. Apparently, it is quote unquote kick ass.
Yeah, that's our top seller. We make that's a cherry mead that we use. We use Balaton cherries with that one, and okay. Just a wonderful middle ground as far as tart cherry. And we have local tart cherries, Montmorency, and it's on the really tart side, and sometimes that's hard to balance and make a good mead out of. And so that the Balaton's a nice middle ground, and it gives you a great tart and sweet combination.
Yeah, that I can never pronounce that. Is it Balaton cherry?
Yeah, I call it Balaton. I may be wrong, but that's what I call it.
Yeah, those are a cherry, just like a single cherry variety Balaton. I mean, that is a very unique flavor. I like that a lot.
Yeah. It has a nice richness to it as well, and that's it's one of our bigger flavored meads, and people really enjoy it, and we're really happy about that. That's what we strive to do, is make an enjoyable experience.
Right on. Well, we're sitting like right about 1 hour. You got a couple more minutes, or?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Awesome. So what keeps you going in the mead world these days? What's your passion that continues to drive you forward to make the meads that you're making, to make these, community enhancing and altering products?
I make it because, I love when people enjoy what I make, and that's what drives me, just sharing something and people really enjoy it. And they're really happy coming in, and they're like, "Hey, Josh, I really want to try your, the Vikings blood or your strawberry rhubarb, or and that really drives me, And it's like, well, what next can we make? What's the next mead? And it just keeps on, pushing the creative process.
It's good when it almost seems like it's I don't know what the term for it is. It's like a perpetual motion thing. It's like they feel you, you feel them, and it just keeps going and making everybody stronger. It makes it again, high tide rising all ships. Everybody's working together and bringing up everybody as a whole. That's so awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the cool part is that, we're a small operation. I'm doing the bartending, and, I get to do that one-on-one with the customers, and, the direct feedback, and they give me ideas, and I think about them, and, I that's part of my thinking process too, is getting that feedback from directly from our customers. And that's a great part of it too, is listening to them, and, trying to make something happen out of that.
Have you ever had like a like loyal customers bench trials day or something like that, or like with your mug club, invite them in to do bench trials like quarterly or something?
We do some. We'll do some pre-tastings on batches that come out, and get their opinions on it. We'll also do. We'll have home brewers. Bring in their meads, and we'll talk about it as well. So, again, it goes back to, hey, let's get our mead taste buds going, and see what people are making and how it tastes and how it balances out. That's really fun. There's so many ideas out there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest ideas, or one of the coolest things about the mead industry right now, especially being the size that it is. Like here you are, the owner, proprietor, and you're working the bar behind. When you're not back stirring honey, you're out slanging stills and whatnot. And that rings true for a lot of places out there. And for me, in my position as somebody who's just a fanatic, I just like the product and like talking to everybody and kind of nerd out on this whole thing. Everybody's so accessible. Everybody's so willing and humble, and I say almost everybody is so willing to talk and just sit down and have a conversation, and willing to share their, I say, not necessarily their trade secrets, but their.
Oh, we talk. I love talking mead. We talk with the, whether any of the home brewers that come in or any of the mead makers. We talk mead. And we'll talk about the process, and I'll share my my suppliers, and I want I want to encourage mead making, and to help out people that are just starting with the mead making. And it can be a little daunting when you're starting a new a new project or a new hobby. And so that's the cool part, is we get to talk one-on-one with these guys, and help them out.
Yeah. So when you get these new home brewers coming in, if they're asking, it's like, what was your biggest difficulty opening your meadery? You get that a question a lot, but I like to ask, like, what should they expect? What should somebody who's opening a meadery expect to run into? Not, everybody's got the difficulties in, paperwork and coming up with the money and everything, but like, what should they expect to run into?
Well, for me, it's definitely about willpower. I mean, you have to keep going. There's going to be people that aren't going to be helpful. There's going to be things that slow you down, or there might be a roadblock here, but you just got to be persistent and have that mindset that, hey, I'm going to get this done. This is what I want, and I'm going to go for it. And it's not an easy process when you're starting out. There's a big barrier to entry because of the process, to open up an alcohol production facility. And again, people reach out to me that want to open up a meadery or a craft beverage place, and I give them advice, and I say, hey, do this and this and this, because it can come back and bite you. For instance, like domain spaces.
Ooh.
You gotta secure that right away before you announce what you want to call your meadery, because there's nefarious people out there that will go and steal it and then hold it ransom to you, and it's kind of sad, but
just on principle.
Yeah, and it's just like, so I tell people, because we got burnt that way too,
Oh.
And that's one of the reasons we originally were going to be called Honey Bear Meadery. Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, and then we had, part of it was, the domain name stolen, and as soon as we announced, and then also a big craft beverage company owns the name. So any kind of alcohol beverage, whether it's mead or beer or wine, if you have the same name, you can't have it. So
Right.
you can't take a name that's already out there. So but that's just part of the learning curve. And we've gone through it, and if people ask for advice, then we give them good advice. It's like, hey, this was a stumbling block for us, and hey, if you do it this way, you'll save yourself a big headache, kind of thing. So
Definitely. Looks like Carlos from Texas Longhouse Mead says, I know who I'm contacting next year when I start my process to open up.
Yeah, for sure. That's another part of trying to help people out and encourage the mead industry, and making mead for people.
100%. All right. Well, I've got a line of questions lined up. kind of little rapid fire thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do the end of here and just try to get your off the cuff answers here.
Yep. Yep.
See, what's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
I eat a couple cups of yogurt and a pop, and then I get my day started. Yeah.
Nice. Hot or cold?
Cold.
Do you use your blinker?
Yep.
Cat person or dog person?
Dog. I'm allergic to cats. Yeah.
Pineapple on your pizza?
Yep. Yep. I enjoy it. I know.
Toilet paper, over the front or over the back?
Over the front. Yeah.
Favorite Girl Scout cookie?
I like the formerly known as Samoan cookies.
They changed it?
Yeah, they changed the name to be more
PC?
PC. Yeah, I forget what they call it now, but those are freaking delish. Yeah.
With the coconut. Oh, my
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta. Burgers or pizza?
I'll go with pizza.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Invincibility, buddy.
Favorite mead style to drink?
I like the Melmels.
What was the first beer you ever had?
Oh shoot, I think it was MGD. And oh my God, I was choking it down. Yeah.
Shuffleboard or darts?
I don't know how to play shuffleboard, so it'd have to be darts.
What's the first car you ever had?
VW Bug.
Still have it?
No, I sold it ways back, but yeah, it was like a 66. Yeah, I bought it for my parents.
Nice. Best Halloween costume you ever had?
Oh shoot. I think I went at Yoda one year. That was pretty awesome.
Nice. Jurassic Park or Land of the Lost?
Jurassic Park. Yeah, I love those dinos.
Me too. If you weren't a mead maker, you would be a...
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good one. Maybe a chocolatier or something.
Chocolatier.
Candy maker.
Right on. That would be fun. I love chocolate myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Josh, for being here today. Let everybody know where they can find you online.
Yeah, our website is White Bear Meadery, all one word, .com. Yeah.
And you guys do the Facebook and Instagram as well?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, same thing, White Bear Meadery, and on Instagram. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And yeah, thanks for listening today.
Yeah, no problem. And you guys do in-state shipping as well, or no?
Yeah, we do in-state shipping for sure. And then, you know, if you're real local, we do some deliveries. Yeah.
Yeah, so anybody there in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, if you're not already on it, which I couldn't imagine you wouldn't already know who these cats are, but go buy some mead from them. Let me know, tkanddrinks@gmail.com, how their stuff is, because I have yet to get to taste it, but I'm dying to. So, again, thank you very much, Josh, for being here today. I'd love to have you on sometime again in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You have a great evening. Thanks.
I will. You as well, my man. And to everybody else, thank you for being here watching us. Have a good day, good evening, good night, and take it easy. Peace.
Thank you.
Well, that looks like that's the end of that, everybody. Thank you all again for being here as well. Had a great evening. Finishing up my pure IPA, double monster hazy or whatever the hell they called that. Some crazy something or other. Murky double IPA. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty dang murky looking. So have a good night again, everybody. Post this up on YouTube as well. Go follow me over there if you haven't. And I will see you all on the flip side. Laters.